Joining me now is Inna Sovsun. She's a member of the Supreme Council, Ukraine's legislature. Thank you so much for your time. Now, you're based in Kiev. Can you give us a bit of a picture about what it's like there now?
Well, the situation in Kyiv has been changing in the last 2 weeks. Many more people came back to the city. We could see that based on the traffic, on the number of people in the supermarkets. But of course, it doesn't feel safe. As of right now, 30 minutes ago, we had a 5th or 6th air raid alert, and we are hearing some explosions up in the air. We don't know whether those are Ukrainian air defense system hitting Russian missiles or the Russian missiles are hitting their targets, but we are definitely hearing things happening around here in Kiev. But yeah, people do try to return because everybody wants to get back to their lives as much as possible, but it definitely doesn't feel 100% safe here in Kiev either.
Now, you've criticised US President Joe Biden for not doing enough to help Ukraine. What would you like to see the US do?
Well, we appreciate the efforts that have been made in terms of helping Ukraine with the weapons supply, but that is not enough, and also the supply chains are too slow. We need supplies of weapons much faster. With the grand battle in Donbass can start any moment now, basically this night and tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, and we need long-range weapons. That is something that we need most of all right now. If we had that, and we could have used that to save Mariupol and people over there, but unfortunately that is not being offered to Ukraine, and that is the biggest criticism here in Ukraine, that this type of weapon is not provided specifically.
The US has just unveiled $800 million in weapons and equipment, plus training for Ukraine. This comes amid concerns, however, that it could, possibly escalate the conflict in any way. Do you feel that even by requesting things like long-range weapons could also have a knock-on effect in terms of the way in which Russia might respond, perhaps with chemical weapons, for example?
Well, the Russians are killing us every day here. Right now, I'm sitting here in the capital of Ukraine, and I'm hearing bombs exploding in the city. They are killing people in Kharkiv today. Only today, 2 people have been killed in the shellings of the city, which is ongoing from day 1 of the war. Thousands of people have died in Mariupol. We are not the one doing the escalations. The Russians are escalating. And every time they're hearing from the West that the West doesn't want to escalate, they take it as a sign that they can go further. And that is why we're asking now for the weapons, not with the goal of attacking Russia, but with the noble and understandable goal of protecting ourselves. Our people are being killed here, and our people is who we want to protect here. And I don't think anyone would disagree with this goal.
Of course, as you say, this war is about the 44 million Ukrainians, but do you think there's also a broader argument here that the Ukraine is caught in the middle of, and perhaps a worldview that the West is losing, in a sense that democracy in the US has been challenged in the last few years? There's Brexit going on, the threat to the EU with the rise of possible leaders like Marine Le Pen. Do you think the West is losing its battle and the Ukraine is stuck in the middle?
Well, I do not want to describe the war in Ukraine in those terms. That is a popular view that I'm hearing from many parts of the world. We also have to realize that the conflict between Ukraine and Russia has been ongoing for centuries. That has been the conflict between different cultures and different civilizations, with Russia wanting Ukraine closer to its civilization, its culture, and Ukraine always wanted to get closer to Europe. But it's not something that started today or 8 years ago. It has been a centuries-long struggle over here in this part of the world. So I don't want that to be based in this contemporary context of the struggle between US and Russia, because then it makes Ukraine just a place where things are happening, while we are in fact the one who are doing the fighting directly right now. So I do suggest that we describe it as a war between 2 different civilizations, and the West can win this war. It's not doing enough right now to win this war, but we are doing the fighting for the West right now, and we're just asking the West to help us in this fight as much as possible. We do recognize the problems with the Western democracies right now, but I believe that they should just consolidate and understand what the real challenge is, where the real threat is, and that is coming from Moscow right now, and we all just should stand together against that, and then go back to issues of democracy building on our territory.
Inna, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us, and I do hope things get a bit more safe in Kiev there for you. Inna Sovsun, a member of Supreme Council, Ukraine's legislature there.